ultimate campy superhero movie, and I think that's wonderful. Like, you can tell everybody in that movie knew exactly what they were making. They're like, you know what, we're just going to go ham. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger on Mr. Freeze. He's like, you know what, I'm just going to do this to the best of my abilities. I'm just going to have fun with it. I appreciate that. There's a Narban. So let's talk about this pick ban phase. Probably should do that a bit, huh?
I guess. Well, Gragas and Alistar are a bit interesting in terms of the bans. I figured we'd see that Ezreal ban on the blue side. And the Gnar, of course, from Lilac. Again, maybe not the most critical champion. If you're playing against Expression, we've seen a lot of those Gnar bans, but maybe you just don't want to give him the easiest laning phase or a very safe laner like Gnar, because he was punished. He did die in that 2v1 straight up in the first game. Didn't end up meaning a whole lot. So they're going to ban Ryze on the blue side, leaving the Runeglaive Ezreal up for Sasson. Not sure about that.
Unless you're going to first pick it for Frozen. I mean, and hope that they SBENU doesn't know about this Braum thing.
Yeah, that's, I mean, what do you do here? If you're IM, maybe you first pick the Braum or the Maokai in order to help deal with the Runeglaive Ezreal.
Certainly could. SBENU had no answer for it. They're going to ban the Fizz.
So, SBENU, 2 games in a row, Fizz bans. Very intriguing.
If you're IM, can't you just pick up Maokai?
Yep, you absolutely could. You run the risk of giving the Braum over in that case, and Braum is very helpful in terms of shutting down the Runeglaive Ezreal pickup. So it's a bit of a both of those champions strong against the mid lane Ezreal, able to either block or get that targeted engage on that champion. But you know what? Maybe if you're IM, you're going to take Braum, you're going to take the Olaf again, which will help you get into that back line.
Or you just take the Ezreal.
Yeah, but it's so difficult to flex that pick on the blue side because they're always going to know where it's going before they lock their mid laner in. And you could just start building against it immediately, but they're going to do it. Okay.
Yep. Didn't you see the near quadra kill?
I guess, but now you can just take Maokai Braum, and you will be very happy in this situation.
Or Kale Rek'Sai.
Oh, right, the Kale, the hidden Runeglaive Ezreal counter. You just ult yourself?
Ult yourself when the True Shot Barrage is coming through. You're like, boom, now what are you going to do? Can you handle it, Ezreal? Oh, and stealing the Manu away from Lilac.
No.
Nope, the Maokai, of course. Okay, they didn't take the Braum. But I don't think LZIM is a type of... I don't know if Ignar can really play Braum.
I think he'll be just fine. I think he's quite a good support player and can definitely handle that pick. The Olaf here may be coming through again. As soon as they see the Rek'Sai, they know there's no threat of a Jarvan. So Olaf Braum is a definitely solid couple of picks right now. If you want to threaten that backline again, and you've got some good peel with the Braum, they can't take that away to block any kind of true shot barrages, and it does make it so that you're more likely to have the mid lane Ezreal.
Braum Sivir is probably okay here as well.
Yeah,
that's what they're going to take.
I mean, SBENU is obviously not going to take the Olaf away. They have Rek'Sai, they have Maokai. There's not anywhere else for Olaf to go.
So we've seen Faker, of course, do well on the mid Aurelia, but do you think Sasson really wants to play this into the Ezreal? I don't know.
There's no reason to do that right now because you don't have to show a mid lane pick until you know exactly where that Ezreal is going. Right now, you just take AD carry and support, call it a day, take the winning lane with the Kog'Maw. You have, or I don't know about that. I think the Kog'Maw is definitely a bit stronger here, but I think they're a little bit worried about this Olaf coming through again, and maybe they want something with a bit more peel for him. It's like SBENU has been a little bit baited by these early Rek'Sais because they are finding themselves in a tough situation when it comes to how to cope with an Olaf in their back line.
You know, the Thresh is really not going to help with that because Ragnarok is going to run right through the box, right through everything else.
Azir can help with it, though. And Azir is still going to be a strong pick against Runeglaive Ezreal in the mid lane.
Okay.
Because even though Olaf can run through the ultimate, the Emperor's Divide, while the animation is rolling, as soon as it stops, he can no longer get through there.
Yeah, because at that point it becomes a wall, and he can't run through walls yet. Haven't gotten to that patch.
Oh, God, I hope that never happens.
Well, what do you think about a Mumu here?
Not great.
How about a Skarner?
How about they're just trolling Cloud Templar? That's what I think they're doing.
How about a Rammus?
So, top lane going for the Hecarim. And again, Lilac hasn't had a lot of success. I think you just go for the Shen here, something very stable that he can react to, get the shield onto the Ezreal, make sure that you can play conservatively. It'll actually be the Evelynn here, so maybe looking for that Shen-Evelynn combo that we used to see so commonly in seasons past, going for that very hard backline engage. But of course, it does leave them with less peel for the Ez.
Good old Submarine. What will the final pick be for the mid lane? I was wondering about the Lulu, actually, a bit.
Well, teams like EDG have been returning to the Shen Eve combo as of late.
Yeah.
And yes, maybe the Zed for Sasin. Will he be so bold?
I mean, if you pick the Zed, whoever he ults on is just going to get Shen ulted.
I tend to agree with that. I don't think that Zed, outside of a very few special players that may be ultra-threatening on that champion like Mickey, probably not exactly a top-tier pick at the moment, especially, like I said, the Azir is still going to be strong here. You have a very potent late-game combination, and it'll be Lulu instead. So Juggernaut coming through for SBENU. It's one of the compositions that they actually started out this season doing okay on. They managed to scrape together a nice lead against SK Telecom towards the beginning of the season. Couldn't close out the game.
Yeah.
But they've shown that they can play with this pick. Now, I think this is still a bit risky because the Evelynn flanks are going to be very effective against this composition because you tend to stay all nice and grouped up if you are a Juggernaut, and that leads to possibly very large Agony's Embrace taunt combos from the Shen and the Evelynn, unless you have your flanks very, very well warded with pink wards.
Yeah, not to mention, too, this Lulu is going to be kind of vulnerable to the Ezreal. She's going to get blown up pretty quickly.
Does have that lane bully status, though. Really
that is true.
Punishing in the early game. Maybe Sasin can actually get that mid turret down and shut Frozen down, but Braum's going to be there for the ganks, and Braum has really strong ganks early on the mid lane with those concussive blows. He can force a lot of summoners out in the early game. So they're going to have to be much more cautious and make sure that Frozen can't get that big advantage one more time.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Frozen with an MVP performance, supposedly. On Ezreal last game, we'll see if he can perform well this time around and give IM the 2-0. Again, both of these teams probably going to be going to relegations anyway, so most likely this match is only about the pride. But we'll see if IM can make it happen, or will SBENU tie it up? Time to get in the game and find out. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. SBENU SonicBoom versus Longzhu, Incredible Miracle. And so Frozen has been given the mid Ezreal once again, and SBENU not taking the Braum, not really worrying about it too much. We'll see how it goes.
I'm just very surprised that they would take the Rek'Sai instead of the Braum. There were still a lot of good junglers available, and the Rek'Sai served to be sort of a bait in the last game into the Olaf pick. And I mean, IM still coming out with a very strong composition. They do have to play the Evelynn into the Rek'Sai, which is never ideal. We'll see if Ketch can play around Sasin just a little bit better. Sasin going for a very safe laning champion in that Lulu, but Nuclear really going to have to show up big here late. They want to take home a win and not just get 2-0'd by Incredible Miracle.
Yep. This is, theoretically speaking there. Oh, what's this? Big action in the bottom lane. Ignar gets flayed in, but Secret the one taking a lot of damage, as is Nuclear. Good trades onto Roar, though. That was a bit interesting.
Yeah, just the old brush cheese standing in there, and they weren't actually able to successfully proc any of the concussive blows, and now Roar not really going to have time to go back into base. So starting on under 50% HP, very nice on an already winning matchup for the Kog'Maw versus the Sivir.
It's a rough start for Roar. See if Ignar can protect him. At least they do have that. At least they do have a support that can offer a lot of protection in lane, but that doesn't stop the auto attacks from coming in from Secret.
Yeah, was able to get right around the minion wave and get some of that extra damage. So.
We are in an era, too, where Brahms Q does a bit more damage, too. So the poking onto Nuclear can be a bit more of a worry as well for SBENU.
Indeed, but just going to fall back to the turret immediately. Play it a little bit conservatively. Nuclear did end up with a little bit more damage as a result of that push onto him. So looks like not too much going to happen right now. Standard lanes this game as Evelynn moves down from the blue to the red buff, and we will see mirrored jungling, so Catch coming down into the bottom side as well.
And no super early ganks in mid or anything like that. And that means Frozen will be pushed in for a little while this game. Level 2 finally taken by SBENU. And so, Spooky. Had an okay game on the Olaf, but how is he going to do on this Evelynn? Again, we just don't really know a lot about this guy. Very new player in the league. Only his 3rd game ever right now.
Yeah, and very young player too. So, still a lot of time for development from this guy.
Yeah, and Lilac on Shen this time. He did okay on the Maokai last game, but this one's a little bit more challenging. They're going to really need him to be on the ball with the ultimates.
Now, Spooky actually only turned 17 at the end of January this year, so he is quite young indeed. Barely old enough to play here at the highest level of competition in Korea. And being thrown in right off the bat.
Ouch.
So, I don't know, that Pre-Seeker didn't really look like it hurt very much.
That's why I just said ouch.
Not a blood-curdling scream of pain.
Yeah, man, you know, you like stub your toe and you go ouch, or you get a paper cut. It's about as much damage as Pre-Seeker does.
The paper cut of League of Legends? I don't know. I don't even know if it hurts that much, honestly.
Yeah, well, it's more than what Tom Kench does anyway.
Yeah, that champion, a lot of utility, but not a lot of damage. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, Nuclear going to be stunned, but a little bit late. A lot of damage. But he gets out on the Lantern, able to click that just in time.
The nick of time before those concussive blows actually got the stun down, so he was stunned on at the end of the Lantern Hall instead.
Yeah.
So getting denied here as a result of that gank. Nuclear not really able to quite get some nice Bio-Arcane Barrage trades early in this game.
Kog'Maw being behind, too, is not exactly what SBENU wants to have at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, getting Kog'Maw behind it. And again, we see IM. They focus around this Kog'Maw. They know that's the major source of damage, and Frozen's doing fine. Frozen is out-farming Saucen right now in the mid lane, so there's not really a whole lot of concern. No pressure yet put down by Catch onto the Runeglaive Ez.
Wow, yeah. I mean, you'd think if anyone would be behind right now, it'd be Saucen, or it'd be Frozen, rather.
Well, the thing is, when you play against these low wave clear mid laners like Kassadin or Runeglaive Ezreal, you really need your jungler to work with you to get vision, because you have to be able to play very aggressively, very safely. To get the tower, to start really taking over the map and punish them. We're just not seeing that. Finally, we see some of these deep wards coming down, but Lilac simply just walking into the river and taking out the pink ward, so that's one less ward that SBENU has to work with right now.
You really can't count on Catch for something like that, too. Unfortunately, it's
yeah,
just...
it's true.
Yeah, he has not been really very coordinated all season long. Uh-oh. Da-da-da. There's Tremor Sense.
Yep. Well, it's not quite that far away, so they were just looking to see what they could get. And they also had the Wolf Spirit on him the whole time, so they knew precisely where that Rek'Sai was.
Right. Lilac, of course, a little bit behind in CS in the top lane, but that's not too surprising with the Shen, so it's not a huge concern. Wow, Nuclear, very low. Still has the summoners, but certainly being poked out pretty hard in this lane. Oh, true shot barrage. Nice try.
Nice attempt there, but wasn't very well coordinated. Could have maybe played a bit more aggressively and had him walk back into it.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of distract him, then he's going to maybe get hit by it.
But still, everything going very smoothly for Incredible Miracle this game. Shen is 6 right now. Maybe they can make some sort of play on the bottom lane in conjunction with the True Shot Barrage. You may see them start thinking about setting up a dive onto that Kog'Maw, because if the Kog'Maw starts to flounder, basically SBENU will never have enough damage with this composition to make it work.
Yeah, that's a big concern right now. And last game, they really didn't seem to be too slow about closing out the game once they had that game-winning advantage, too.
Okay, so a bit of a red buff threat here. Spooky and Ignar are joining forces on this invasion, but Secret there to counteract it a bit, and IM doesn't want to really overcommit to that right now. They're not playing from a position of power quite at this point in the game. Well, they do have the Shen ult.
Yep, and Spooky does take the big Raptor. Ignar not getting hit with that death sentence, so they'll get out without any issues.
And not going to be able to clear a ward with the Raptor buff either, so certainly not the most advantageous position. Nuclear starting to catch up in terms of CS, though. He has that Sheen now, and in that 1v1, Sivir not really going to be able to do too much to him.
Yeah, they really can't leave Sivir in the 1v1 once Nuclear hits 6, can they?
No, be quite dangerous, but it looks like Spooky and Ignar want to keep harassing this red buff.
Yeah, looks like they might even be able to take it, too.
Well, Frozen has the angle to get there a little bit faster right now. Sasin not really using his mana to push up, finally starts using some of those glitter lances. Well,
it's interesting. He's got kind of high mana for a Lulu right now in this position. Although, no, he did just go back. Never mind.
Yeah, he did, but he has to really focus more on pushing up. I mean, obviously there's a chance somebody could come in behind him, but you know they're just trying to make a play onto the red buff right there. They can't get it. SBENU now trying to get a steal of their own.
Yeah, but they get caught by Ignar, though.
Shen, nope. So, SBENU may have been able to actually do something with that, considering that Frozen was under his tower with a cannon minion wave. It's a little bit reluctant, I guess, to play that aggressively.
Yeah. And will it be a true shot barrage going for that blue buff? Frozen tried for so many of them last game, but it's not going to find it this time around.
No, I guess he's a little tired of using that ability.
Well, I think you have a real opportunity to make a big difference in the bot lane this game with true shot barrage.
Yeah. That Shen ult, the two global abilities of Stand United and True Shot Barrage really can turn things on their head.
Yeah.
Wow, Shen has so much money right now, really hasn't had that many opportunities to recall. Here we
There
go.
it is. Yep, and that is going to take a chunk out of Nuclear, but it's not going to result in any sort of dives or anything from Roar or Ignar. Just going to let them push up the lane a little bit more, be aggressive, and Roar still with a nice CS lead.
Yep, not much to say. I mean, as far as you're concerned, if you're Incredible Miracle, this game is going great right now. No kills, you have a slight gold lead. You want this Ezreal just to keep on scaling very, very smoothly into the late game. You have more damage threats. You're going to feel confident about getting on top of the Kog'Maw because you have the good engage with the Evelynn Shen. As long as you can properly execute it, and it's really hard to stop against that kind of engage. That engage is so fundamentally strong, because you have to ward with pink wards in order to spot it. That's it. You don't have any other options.
Oh, Spooky taking a lot of damage from Saucin. Needs to be careful there. Lulu can pack a punch sometimes. Looks like LZIM is almost ready to push on that tier 1 in bottom lane, though.
Well, they've been able to play aggressively. They have the superior wave clear, and they're not giving Nuclear time to poke. And frankly, Ketch hasn't been there on the bottom side to punish them for this aggression.
Looks like Ketch may try something now, but Death Sentence does not hit.
I don't know. We can see Shen, Lilac. He's falling back to his tower right now. He still only has a Doran's Blade. He hasn't gone back yet.
He's got to get out of there. He's got to go by. I mean, Soul recalling now.
I mean, you have two globals. Just go back at, like, basically Lilac can't make a play right now because he doesn't have any items. He's got like 3,000 gold. You have 2 globals. Just TP back into lane if you need to and use your Stand United to match what Soul can bring out. Really actually hindering the playmaking ability of IM early in this game. I think that's a very bad decision.
Straight up buys a Spirit Visage with his first back of the game. And then he will crab walk his way back to lane as his team takes out the bottom turret too. So it turns out they didn't need him in the end.
Well, he had the item by the time they played forward, but I think that is a large, large risk.
Yeah.
IM easily could have had that turned around on him. I mean, sure, Maokai only had the 2 Doran's rings, but Maokai is tanky because of his ultimate, even when he doesn't have armor or resists.
Oh. Nuclear recalling just in time? No, that wasn't nuclear.
It was Braum.
Ah, there we go.
Ignar just getting out of there.
All right.
In the nick of time, and...
Oh, nearly smited that away. Spooky tried to take that from catch, but couldn't quite get it. Oh, and Frozen actually really poked out by Saucin here.
Well, I mean, this is more how you would expect this matchup to go, but IM, again, coming down. Look how many pink wards they have around the mid lane now. They have 3 in immediate vicinity, so they're trying to prevent Saucin from really pushing forward and bullying the Ezreal and just keeping that farm even, and this is going to do it. I mean, Saucin is going to be afraid to commit. He also doesn't have Ignite in this game.
Well, they're going to try to make a play on the Saucin, or they were going to try to make a play, but he was able to get away with the Whimsy.
I mean, I don't really get that either. Saucin didn't have kill pressure really without the Ignite. Going for the cleanse, obviously he's afraid of the Braum and Shen CC, but I think you just have to go with it and try and make a play onto the Ezreal. You can't just go even versus Runeglaive Ezreal and think you're going to win that poke war.
Yeah, that's very true. Will there be a dragon from IM? Recall canceled by Ignar. Could try it. Lilac still with both globals.
Just make a play onto this bottom lane. Look how far Kog'Maw is pushed forward right now. You have the True Shot Barrage. You can neatly fire over to any kind of bottom lane gank. You can at least play more aggressively when it comes to vision in the bottom side jungle if you're Incredible Miracle right now. So yeah, I mean, I know they want to scale up. They have the Avarice Blade. They don't have a completed Infinity Edge onto Roar. But still, I think you can push the envelope just a bit and see if you can get that big kill, score the big kill onto the Kog'Maw. Considering you've already done a very good job on him in the laning phase, making sure that he has a slight deficit.
Oh, taunt onto Soul, and actually Ignar's going to come in here for the gank, tries to make the play. There's the knock-up. Soul does not have flash anymore. Are they actually going to be able to get him? Lilac flashes. He's going to get another stun from that passive. Soul still very tanky from his ultimate. They're going to go under a turret, and that was a very, very long gank, but the kill does end up going to Lilac in the end.
And Ignar played that pretty darn well, coming in having the tip of the Glacial Fissure hit Soul. I thought it was going to miss after he committed with the jump, but didn't even have to use Flash to pull it off. Gets the Summoner Spell out of Soul and gets the first blood onto Lilac.
Never thought I'd see the day. Lilac with that first blood, and will they be able to change this or turn this into a dragon now?
No, there just wasn't enough of a reaction on the bottom side of the map. I mean, SBENU knew that there were 2 of them up there.
You'd think SBENU could have made a play for that, huh?
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
Frozen has a lot of poke, though.
Lilac is still very high in HP, and yeah, he still had the Sand United to get down there, but if you make that play fast enough while they're still trying to kill the Maokai, maybe they'll be a little bit too late to actually do anything, but I think they're very concerned with how overextended the Kog'Maw is at this point in time.
It should be. Getting that bottom turret that early has really helped IM. I mean, it is kind of leisurely at this point when they just go in, take control of the jungle, get set up for that dragon.
Well, there was just no punishment from SBENU. When you have a Sivir playing that far up, you try and make a play with your top laner, try and do something right there. But Catch really didn't help hardly at all. We saw them pushed up. On red side, you can have that gank where Rek'Sai comes to the Tribe Rush to at least push them off the objective. But SBENU just playing scared this game, honestly. You have to be able to play aggressive. And Props to IM. I think maybe they realized that after game 1 that they didn't have the right mindset to even shut down this Rune Glaive, so why not just first pick it?
Yeah, seems to be the case. Secret, I don't think, has landed a single death sentence yet this game.
I don't know why you would check the brush like that when you have Kog'Maw ult to do it.
It's a good point. It's a very good question. Two-shot barrage just to push that wave up. And IM with a little bit of vision around the dragon, but not a ton.
This should be a pretty easy dragon. The wave's being pushed up. They need Nuclear to get more farm. He's now starting to fall further and further behind on a composition that is absolutely dependent on his itemization and damage output.
Yeah, you just do not see a Kog'Maw this far behind against a Sivir very often.
You don't.
All right, so is it time now?
I mean, I will say that after 6, there is the danger of the all-in, right? If you have the Braum there, it becomes very easy to stack the concussive blows. There's almost nothing you can do with the Sivir ult because she's just going to move faster than you and be able to get the stun off. So it is dangerous to a degree.
Pretty much. There's a grab onto Ignar. Turned into a tiny thing, and whoa, barely escapes with his life, or does he? Nope, Nuclear comes in for the kill there. LZIM losing their support.
Yeah, very greedy attempt there, getting too close to that tower, and he just ultimately pays for it, gets within the tower range, they drop absolutely everything on him, and not only that, but he used Flash and Summoner Heal to die.
Lilac decided not to ult there, too.
Great point. It could have been that Soul was within range of him, but the shield
shield
still goes off even if it's canceled.
That's the thing, is the shield still probably would have been enough to save him.
Yeah, it would have. Well,
this is, I don't know. Lilac.
Well, I just don't get it because Lilac hasn't been willing to make any kind of commitment to use his ultimate this game.
Yeah.
Or his teleport, just waiting so long before going back for his first buy, taking chip damage on the tower when he could just absolutely TP into the top lane and play around his ult.
Oh, meanwhile, big melee in the bot lane right now. Ignar very, very low, could still be in trouble. Here comes the teleport in for SBENU. Meanwhile, Lilac decides to finally come down. They get a kill.
See, it was all calculated for that moment. He had to get the kill on the next one.
There you go. It was the next one, then teleports right back up to top lane.
Yep, just wants to push the lane forward, doesn't want to give up any more damage onto the turret.
With how greedy Lilac is being this game, I feel like we could have a Shen skin called Shebenezer Scrooge.
Shebenezer Scrooge, is that right?
That's right. Just keeps it all for himself.
Just sits there counting his money in lane.
Pretty much. Counting his gold.
I don't know. Makes about as much sense as Shen being a ninja, so
why not?
I'll take it.
Baker bless us, everyone. It's a Christmas incredible miracle. Oh, and it's going to be a dive onto Soul as well. Soul pops the ultimate right away, gets out with the lantern. Oh, there's a grab on the Spooky. They're going to need to turn this around again. Soul comes back in. Spooky, very, very low. Dodges the ultimate with the flash. Nuclear still chasing. Braum gives him a little bit more tankiness. Nice slow into Secret. Soul comes in with the flash. Arcane smash, and Ignar dying for his jungler. A noble sacrifice.
A noble sacrifice indeed. Maybe a bit biting off more than they could chew with that gank, and Sivir here just going to leave those minions to the turret. Sasin goes into the bottom side to clean it up again. Frozen is stuck right now at his tier 1. And Lilac will just take the Gromp and move on with his life. But they are going to sacrifice a tier 1 turret for that. A little bit of failed tower diving right there that IM brought into play. So we see that gold gap shrink just a hair.
Yep. And Frozen hasn't really been able to make a big difference yet with this Ezreal.
Sasin going for a very interesting build, actually. He is not building standard Juggermaw for the Lulu, where we would see something like a Rillanomicon or a Chalice into a Death Cap because you really want to maximize that AP.
Yeah.
Instead, he's choosing to go for an AP damage poke build instead. So his shields and his whimsies will not be doing quite so much at this stage of the game, but he will be more of a damage threat here. And I think this is an interesting adaptation considering that Nuclear is behind. You have to have something there, right?
True.
If you're going to team fight in case something breaks out on the map. So I actually like what Sassen's doing here as a sort of triage build when you know you need more time for your Kog'Maw to get big.
Yeah, Bronze Shield does make it difficult for those Glitter Lances to get through, though. So in a team fight, that Lulu may not be quite as helpful. True Shot Barrage goes through the jungle, does a bit of damage.
Yeah, it doesn't get
Sassen.
the blue buff.
Nope.
Is still taken by Sassen, but Frozen continues to pound away at this mid lane turret. Well, not really. Looks like that.
He's trying.
That health bar not moving too much in the mid lane.
Whoa, Arcane Shift right
Nice.
into the Death Sentence. What happened there? Frozen gets taken out, that's what. And I think the Arcane shifted right as it hit him, so he still was CC'd
I think
at the
that
end of
was
it.
actually predicted by Secret. That just looked like a really good hook to me. I
I want to see that again because
yeah.
I felt like it was going where Frozen wasn't. Or it was going where Frozen was before the Arcane Shift, so I think it hit him right before he finished the spell animation.
Well, Nuclear gets the kill in any case, and that is so important right now. The fact that Nuclear actually has the 3 kills in this game means that he's starting to ramp up. That CS differential not going to be quite so much, so at least the kills are going onto the right person for SBENU.
True. Secret hitting that grab. I want to see a replay of that. I want to see how that actually ended up working.
Pretty sure he just predicted that, Doa.
He predicted that Ezreal would Arcane Shift towards him.
Well, I have to see. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, so.
Well, I was looking at it dead on. So I'm pretty sure. We'll see, though. Nah, we probably won't see. I'm sure
We'll
people
never
will tweet
see
it at us.
the potentially impressive Thresh play made by Secret there, but he's been turning this game around. He's been punishing IM as they push too close to the turrets. They overcommit to some of these plays or their poke, and he's been the one who's been getting Nuclear those kills in the last few minutes. Now, they're still behind in gold, but they are catching up slowly, and Sassen makes that play in the bottom side. He's going to get himself a turret.
Wow. Gets out really easily with the Whimsy, too. And now the Dragon is live, though. They're going to go after it. A little bit of poke damage onto Catch, as IM tries to bully their way into the river for this second Dragon of the game. Ignar in a little bit of trouble, dodges a hook.
Does get slowed, throws out the Winter's Bite at the end, so takes a nice little chunk of damage, but Secret also starting to get very poked out. There's the True Shot Barrage onto Nuclear just to make sure they can't take down the mid turret.
Yeah.
There's one less tool that he's going to have there. Nuclear does have some lifesteal, so getting poked out not going to be the end of the world for him.
Frozen, of course, still has all the poke from the W as well, too. Meanwhile, the top turret goes down in favor of IM. Lilac able to take that one against Soul's Maokai.
Really great warding, though, for SBENU. Well, actually, no, they've got enough wards around to see the Dragon right now, and they have some interesting pink wards behind them, which makes a circuitous Evelyn gank a little bit more difficult through the jungle. So SBENU just trying to play around that mid lane right now, making sure that the Eve doesn't have any good opportunities to get the flank.
Oh, IM finds a position on this Dragon. They are going to start it, and they get it in time, though. SBENU coming down. We'll see how much they want to fight this. They may just go for the mid turret. It looks like they will. So just trading the turret for that Dragon, but that does mean that IM is up 2 dragons now.
Well, but they want that initial gold boost, right? Once they come online with the Juggernaut, they're still going to be doing a lot of damage. They have great team fighting potential. So maybe they're thinking, well, we get the gold now. They actually keep things relatively even in that score. And maybe we can come back at Dragon 4, maybe even Dragon 3, and make more of a game of it.
It's possible. I am really kind of feeling the pressure to take down this mid lane turret, too, at this point, but Sassen's doing a pretty good job of defending it.
Yeah, Sassen's been holding his own here, and now they're able to just continue to push up. They have it, this bottom side wave in their favor, and Frozen just now gets his True Shot Barrage. He may Have to pop that. Nope, not enough minions to justify it. So he's able to hold on to that for just a little bit longer. Only takes a small amount of damage onto his mid-tier 2.
So what do you do if you're IM right now? Just kind of maintain your turrets and wait?
Yeah, I mean, if you can get some more of the, if you can get this mid lane turret, that would obviously be ideal, but you're going to feel pretty comfortable with your Dragon lead that you have already, with the fact that Frozen ended up with just a death in the laning phase, no real harm to his CS score, and he's getting huge. I mean, moving now more than likely into a Void Staff to counteract the build from Soul, and the fact that there's already an Aegis on this team.
Yep. There's the two-shot barrage. Takes a bit out of Secret. Pushes up that wave a little bit.
Yeah, not actually doing too much, though, all things considered.
Not
SBENU
yet.
has committed 5 people into this mid lane, so as long as LZIM can keep them here.
Long time until the next minion wave as well, too. And Sawson knows it. He's going to go ahead and use this opportunity to go back, do some shopping. I am keeping things pushed up, though.
Yeah, it's just not a whole lot. I mean, we see the...
Uh-oh, grab on the Spooky. He's going to take a lot of damage here. Catch thinking about going in, but Spooky manages to get out with a little bit of help from Ignar. That does kind of derail the siege, though, a bit.
Yeah, it definitely does. And
Spooky's been getting grabbed a lot lately.
well, he has, but Secret's also been doing a good job of just landing those hooks. But yes, in general, IM has been getting a bit too close to the turrets. They are getting perhaps a bit too greedy for this turret damage.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the top lane battle has come down to the jungle, and Lilac on the run. It's a 1v4. What in the world is he doing there? There's the box. They're going to commit a lot to taking him out. Looks like they're going to be able to do it, though. Well, that was an interesting spot for Lilac to be.
Yeah, I have no idea why he was actually there in that situation, considering that all of his team had backed off the mid lane, and he took a very dangerous route through the enemy jungle after pushing up the wave.
Yeah. Looked a bit lazy. I mean, he got some deep wards down, but you don't need to really do that.
Well, it's fine as long as his team is still in the mid lane and that they're able to respond to any aggression, but they just weren't right there.
Yep. Well, I am pushing back up the mid lane again. Gonna give it a try. Two-shot barrage. I still gotta say, I'm not a big fan of Frozen's two-shot barrages.
Just checking the river right there to see what was going on, and they're all standing in a pink brush. Looks like they really, really want to fight this one.
I guess so.
And they're trying to punish IM's over-aggression on these towers.
Oh boy, here they come. Spooky there for possibly the counter-engage. A lot of damage. Now the kiting begins. Spooky has to flash. Frozen gets Shen ulted. It's going to keep him safe, but Lilac gets grabbed as soon as he comes in.
You can see they fall back immediately to the choke, just daring SBENU to come through that area where the possibility of that big Evelyn ulti would be quite good for them, but SBENU smartly decides not to bite. They realize they got a lot of ults out already. No more Shen ult for the next few minutes, so that's a pretty big win for them. They didn't really have to expend anything from their side.
Void Staff for Frozen now, so that may help those two-shot barrages and his other abilities do a little bit more damage at this point.
Yeah, definitely needed that, but there's the end of the tower as Roar gets the final auto attack down.
Yeah, that ties it up now for IM in terms of turrets against SBENU at this point. This game's been a lot closer than last game so far. You know, Nuclear is still way down on CS, but those 3 kills are really kind of keeping him afloat at this point.
Well, yes, but are we going to see the last Whisper by the next team fight? Because if he doesn't have that at Dragon, he may get slowed down pretty significantly by Lilac, considering that Lilac already building his second armor item.
Well, staying afloat is not swimming.
That's true. Yes, that is true. He's staying afloat, but not sure he is up to that big-time Olympic swimming carrying capacity right now.
They don't call him Nuclear Phelps or anything, which is a great band name now that I think about it as well, too.
Nuclear Phelps.
That's
that is
right.
a good band name.
That was the name of my... yeah, we'll go with punk rock band.
It's a great punk band.
I think so, too, yeah. Nuclear Phelps. That's a good one.
They got a gold medal in Anarchy.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That could be the first album title, Gold Medal in Anarchy. That's right.
All right, well, Lilac going to start turning on the split push pressure. Soul has no TP to respond to this, so SBENU has to kind of all in on this Dragon as soon as they are able.
Now they're going to try, but the poke from IM is going to be pretty real here.
Yeah, and they're very concerned about Spooky.
Spooky.
That's a nice pink ward flank, though. Spooky gets caught out, and that's going to be the end of him.
I don't know. I'm not sure why you'd use that ult right there. Dragon getting done, but it is a 4v5 right now. They do have Lilac split pushing up in the top lane, but they're going to have to give this one up.
That was actually nicely done by SBENU to try.
Close, very close.
Very close. That was a nice attempt, actually, by Spooky to get the flank, but SBENU set up. Look at those pink wards just everywhere. They know what that major threat is right now. They are hyper aware that if the Eve Shen ult combination lands, that they are probably just going to straight up lose the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
So good preparation, making sure that they have the necessary information. Smart of them to go ahead and turn onto Spooky as soon as they see him. Still the trade works though. IM had a nice big wave developed already in the top side, and that global pressure will earn them a tier 2. So it's not the end of the world. It was only the first Dragon for SBENU.
It does seem like that tier 2 and top right now is a little bit more valuable than the Dragon for LZIM.
It depends on how much Lilac can continue to split push, right? If he can actually start to reliably get damage down onto the inhibitor turret, it will become quite useful. But they have to start setting up some plays here. Spooky needs to get in there. They need to actually get some kills. They need to start using the Shen ult more often, or at least making attempts to. Especially while the TP is down. You got nothing to lose right now.
Very true.
You see the Maokai on the map, you should immediately start thinking about how you're going to make plays here, as SBENU is playing very risky at the moment. Now, they don't know where the Maokai is, but he's probably not there. Here we go, they're doing it.
Yep, they're going to give it a try. Shen ult coming in, and they don't manage to really connect with anybody.
Yeah, they used the Agony's Embrace right there, but with Sassin right next to Nuclear, Nuclear was able to flash out and had enough shield and speed. So they got a flash for the ultimate, which is definitely a good trade, especially as Lilac is already level 18 in this game. He's 2 levels up over Soul, so max rank in that ultimate means that cooldown's going to be up pretty darn often.
Yep, as is Evelyn's. They can try it again before too long, but the fact that Nuclear was able to get out of that so easily with a little bit of help from Sassin is a bit worrisome for IM, because that Juggermaw is about ready to get rolling.
Yeah, but now no more flash. So you're going to have to contend with that. That makes the positioning much more difficult, and that Raptor will be stolen away by Frozen. So I like the fact that they're at least trying to make the plays now, though. That is critical. And they also have gotten the wards into their favor. Good poke.
Yep, they don't get the ult out of Roar, though, which is nice.
Roar actually not going to be doing too much damage yet because he's been delayed on his last Whisper, and there is, of course, the Frozen Heart on the enemy team. He went for the Bloodthirster just because he wants to have a little bit more durability when it comes to getting poked himself and make sure that those team fights can't immediately be turned around by the fact that Nuclear gets some poke and he has to recall.
And just checking the Baron, making sure that things are not being taken by SBENU, which they are not.
And Shen still not really able to be handled by this Maokai. Big item advantage so far for Lilac. Big CS advantage too.
Well, Sassin just charging down the mid lane. They know they've got IM a little bit split up, perhaps. Or just trying to put some pressure on while they can anyway.
Oh man, they're so ripe for the picking again. Look at them pushing up right now. Sure, they have the TP, but that flank.
A lot of wards.
I mean, if Spooky's just on the wrong side, if he was on the right side, if he was in the bottom side jungle right now with those pink wards, he would have an absolutely free flank into that back line.
Yeah, as is. It's not going to happen. SBENU backing off anyway, though. They've got a big lane in top two, or big wave in top to worry about pretty soon.
Oh, that was such a good opportunity. That couldn't be taken. Spooky not actually that tanky quite yet. Just that locket of the Iron Solari so far, which is very critical against SBENU.
Yeah. Wow. And Roar is still almost 100 CS up over Nuclear. It's pretty amazing.
Not too far
now.
ahead in items, though, thanks to all of the kills that Nuclear was able to pick up. That really has kept SBENU in this game, thanks to Secret, mostly.
Yeah, very true.
So I guess we're just going to wait for the next Dragon, Doa.
Pretty much 1 minute away. And this has been a pretty passive game overall.
Especially compared to
Sadly.
the last one. Well, IM just isn't willing to commit. They have had multiple opportunities for some pretty nice engages.
They don't look terribly coordinated, you know? Oh, two-shot barrage. Wow, there we go. There's some damage onto Sasson. He's going to immediately recall. Still plenty of time to do that and get back before Dragon, but that two-shot barrage is going to be up well before Dragon as well.
Yep, no problem there. So, but you notice that SBENU still can't really push out on the map.
Yeah.
They're having some issues right now. If they do, they run the risk of putting themselves in a very exposed situation.
Well, Lilac has Thornmail as well now, so Nuclear may be in a bit of trouble if that Shen gets onto the back lines.
Yeah, they have to be able to properly set it up, and that's not something that they've been able to do yet. We have yet to see that combo actually work. SBENU did a good job of pink warding against it at the last Dragon. And then after that, they blew a flash, but the flash nearly back up. Won't be back up for the start of this fight, which may be a big game changer for them.
CJ has shown us how this combo is supposed to work, and when it goes off, it is really impressive, but so far IM just hasn't been quite coordinated enough yet. And will we see some action around this Dragon? I think it's pretty inevitable at this point, but IM has position for the moment.
Yeah, they're already there, and the pink wards aren't at the same locations as they were in the last time.
They're going to start it.
Spooky is here on the side.
Yeah, the hook does not hit. Soul comes in with the Arcane Smash as well. Spooky coming from the side. That's right. There's the Agony Embrace. They're going to come in. Dragon taken by IM already. And Roar doing tons of damage with Frozen from the outside. SBENU slowly being picked apart. Still alive for now, though. Lilac trying to do what he can. Spooky very, very low. Ignar low as well. IM. And they fought basically to a standstill. But here's where Frozen can clean up. Could be very, very bad. There's a kill for Roar coming in. Frozen tries to pick one up. Oh, he gets one. He gets a double, and he could get more. There's a triple kill. Did he get it? No, he didn't get the triple. Roar got one of those. There's the triple kill.
There it is.
That's right. True shot barrage coming up soon, but not soon enough to take down Soul, and that is exactly what IM was waiting for. And after that fight, with getting that Dragon, things can be smooth sailing now.
Still a little bit sloppy. So what actually happened there was Spooky engaged, but he flashed back out before the Shen channel completed, so they didn't get the perfect opportunity to set up a chain CC on the back line. So really hold it for as long as he could have. However, everybody on SBENU got so low. Now watch this. Watch Spooky come in, and he flashes out. And then Lilac doesn't end up next to Nuclear, and he has to flash taunt to get onto Nuclear right there. So Spooky, maybe not playing that as well as he could, but it doesn't matter. Everybody gets so low. They're in a choke, taking a lot of that Runeglaive damage. And Roar just untouched in this engagement. And there's the flash forward. They don't quite land the Winter's Bite, but Frozen gets enough to turn this one around, and they're able just to charge right through the tower and get that final Arcane Shift Q for the kill.
Yep. And they got the Baron on the way out as well, too. So I am in prime position now to finish this one off.
They have the wave in the mid lane. Inhibitor straight into the Baron. They are looking mighty fine.
Oh, yeah. And now SBENU with a siege composition that can't siege.
Yeah, things are definitely looking rough for them. They also can be dove very easily with this Evelynn constantly threatening to come around the backside of a tier 2 tower.
Two-shot barrage. Oh, wow. That does a lot of damage.
Brutal. And the Zhonya's Hourglass isn't even finished yet.
It's pretty amazing. There goes the tier 2. And IM can just kind of bulldoze their way into the base now. Yeah, the poke is really serious. Secret not quite connecting with that death sentence there. Turret nearly down. Nuclear's back. He's going to try to do some damage. Gets a good amount onto Nuclear, or onto Ignar, rather.
Yeah, but he's going to have to return every so often just based on the poke, and they have the Shen in the mid lane too, and they're just going to zone him off the tower. Very nicely done by IM. Go ahead and crush this inhibitor. You have a wave in the top side too, so play this by the book. I mean, SBENU has to engage now. They're not going to. It's pretty much their last chance right there because they're not going to get another option like that again.
Yeah, they have to go for something desperate here. Secret just cannot seem to land those death sentences. And there goes the final inhibitor turret. Teleport used to get Lilac back into the fray. And this is the moment they grab Ignar. Not the best target. Soul a little bit wrapped up. Lilac trying to get the backlines for a taunt. And here we go. SBENU just forced back yet again. The poke. Frozen with another kill. Now going after Sassen. There's a double kill for him as well. Nuclear in a bit of trouble. Backing away. And IM fairly low by this turret. There's Roar with another one. That should be about it by Nuclear. There goes the Nexus turrets. There goes the Nexus. And IM cleans it up. And that is a 2-0 for Incredible Miracle. SBENU. Yet another match loss for them.
Yeah, really tough, but they didn't have the answers for the Runeglaive Ezreal. They didn't play around it properly as a team, and it's a big smile on Frozen's face as he's able to take the first game's MVP and do quite well in the second game too. Took him a while to get rolling that time. It wasn't that nice first blood that he got in game number 1, but tough loss for SBENU, and that is probably it. That was more than likely. I mean, I said this with SKT as well, that well, who's going to beat him now? Turns out it was CJ, but with Anarchy and IM no longer on the table for SBENU, they are staring a winless season square in the face.
Yep, looking pretty bad for SBENU SonicBoom, but Incredible Miracle, again, at this point, it's pretty much about the pride. They're going to be able to pick up a 2-0, which will help them in the point standings, which will help them on the bus ride home as well.
Well, they're spooky. Had a decent showing today for a rookie player, all things considered, and Lilac coming back in and having actually a pretty good game too on that Shen. He got a big advantage there, Sassen. I mean,
it's tough.
What do
it's
you
been a
say?
real tough season.
You spend all your time as a pro gamer in the house and you can't even pick up a single match win or even a single game win here against Incredible Miracle. It is definitely rough for him, but he's shown some promise, that's for sure.
Definitely. I mean, again, there's a long off season coming up. You have to imagine SBENU's going to ditch their jungler, ditch their top laner, find two people that are going to fit the team better. I say keep Sassen, Nuclear, and Secret, and build on that. It's a very strong core, and they could come back next year and be a decent team.
Yeah, we saw that big revolution with Samsung from spring to summer season.
Exactly.
So just some of these things do take time.
Very true. And IM, well, we'll see where they end up next year. You never know.
You never know, but they did make a lot of upgrades. They are trying to make some changes. They brought in some more veteran players. So, and they have Ignar, who actually is a pretty promising rookie.
Very true. Well, I would imagine we're going to give the MVP to Frozen once again. I mean, if you think about the performances on that team, yeah, Lilac did okay, but I feel like Frozen is probably going to get it.
I think so too. I wish Ignar had gotten that MVP in game 1, but not actually.
Ignar was robbed.
Ignar was
supports,
robbed.
man. The supports always get robbed.
They do.
Painful.
Well, it's just not so flashy when it doesn't pop up with triple kill on your screen, Noah.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, it always pops up with triple kill when you're playing support. But.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't get to play in Champions, so I just have to